Welcome everybody to this live broadcast. We just got the kickoff to the Texas A&M and Miami game, and it went out the back of the end zone for a touchback. It's going to be first down and 10 from Miami at the 25-yard line. Just to say really quick, two really high-powered offenses coming into this game. Hey, snap, pass to the side. Gonna catch it. Gonna have 5. Gonna have about 9 yards. Number one for the Texas A&M Aggies. Back in the shotgun. Gonna be in a hurry up. 2 to the near side. 1 to the far side. Snap. Looking back to pass. Going to pass and overthrown just slightly to number one. Texas A&M moving fast back to the line. Gonna be in the shotgun. 1 to the near, 2 to the far side. One tailback beside him. Texas A&M, third down and 1. 14:36 to go. Going to be a snap, a run up the middle, and it looks like he's going to have the first down, but that's going to be just pretty much it. Just enough for the first down. First down and 10, Texas A&M. Let's see, Texas A&M coming back to the line. They're ready to try to break this one open and try to get a score here. Texas going to snap the ball, run up the middle, pushing, going to get around 5 yards before brought down. Should be a second down and 5 yards. 4:35 to go. Should be a high scoring game here. Back to snap, snap, back to pass. Looking, throwing, and missing. A little bit off target to number 7. Third down and 5. Both defenses are they're both all right, but it's the offenses that really stand out about both of these teams. Very evenly matched. So it just the defenses might come up with some big plays, which could be really impactful in this game. We'll see what happens. They're back in the shotgun again. 3 wide to the left and in a bunch formation. Could be a possible screen here. One tailback. Waiting for the snap here. Snap. Back to throw. Reed is looking. Don't have nobody. He's going to run the ball. He has 5 yards, and that's it. He got enough, though, for the first down. There is a flag on the play, so let's see what the call is. Could be holding. Never mind. It was a mouthpiece that came out, and I guess they thought it was a flag. So no flag on the play. Gonna be back in the pocket again. Bunch formation shotgun. Snap. Pass. Quick pass. And they're going to get him. He's going to fight back to the initial line of scrimmage for second down and 10. And then a quick snap again. Going to be running the ball up the middle and it's going to be brought down after around 4 yard pickup. Just going to make sure to see where they spot the ball at. It's definitely going to be third down and a medium. Third down and 6. 12:05 to go in the first quarter. It looks like it's a little windy out at the game. Back in the shotgun. Two to the far side, one to the near. Snap. Back to pass. Looking. Got all day. Gonna decide to run the ball. He has some space. He has the first down and a little bit more. He picks up around 7 yards on the play. Enough for the first down. Just enough for the first down. First down, though, for Texas A&M. Just really dynamic quarterback. Reed can run on you, dual threat. So you definitely got to account for him. Back in the shotgun again. Quick snap. Going to be back to pass. Quick pass. And it's going to be complete. And it's going to be around second down and 4. Looked like a 6-yard pickup on that. This Texas A&M team is driving on Miami's defense. I guess slowing down the pace a little bit here, making sure they got the play that they want. Back in the shotgun again. A bunch formation to the near side, one to the far side. Going to be a quick pass, screen setup. Going to be hit for a loss of around 2 yards, third down. They was a little bit above field goal range by a yard or two. Now they're a little bit out of it, but overall, this still could be a long field goal attempt if A&M does not get this conversion. Third down and 7. Back in the shotgun, one tailback. A guy in motion, number 17, running in motion. 3 to the far side, 1 to the near side. Let's say they hand the ball off, trying to just find some room up the middle. Miami says hell no, and only gives no more than a yard on that. Fourth down, and we're going to call it 6. So now it's interesting. It's right there at the maximum field goal range for A&M's kicker. I would think they go for a field goal here, try to tack on 3 points, but they might go for it. Fourth down and 6. Let's see if they're going to be aggressive or not. They got the offense out there. They're going for it. Fourth down and 6. 2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side, and never mind. A&M says they're going to think it over, and they appear to. Well, actually, it was Miami that called a timeout. I guess they did not like what they seen. So right now, score 0-0 in the first quarter. A&M going to try a fourth down conversion, which they might change their mind. Now Miami has called a timeout to try to make sure they got the right play to stop it. They might go for a long field goal attempt or punt it and try to pin Miami deep. We're going to have to wait for them to come back from advertisements. Just to talk a little bit of stats here. Really close. Both Carson Beck and Reed is really close. Carson Beck has 3,000 yards on the season, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Marcel Reed, 2,900 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. The receivers are within around 50 yards of one another, the top 2 on each team. The top running back on each team is also within 50 yards of one another. Both offenses are rated in the top 20. This is the game that really I predict to be an offensive battle. But last night we got a defensive battle. Would have thought it was going to be a defensive battle in a way, but it ended up being a offensive battle in the Alabama-Oklahoma game, with Alabama coming out on top 34-24. After Miami got a 17-0 lead, Alabama went on a 27-point unanswered streak, followed by a touchdown by Oklahoma, and Alabama answered with a touchdown of their own. And then after that, it was just a defensive stand by Alabama, and that pretty much wrapped up the game. This game has the makings with these two teams' as offenses to be an offensive battle as well, but we'll see. So the action is back. Back in the shotgun. The offense is still out there, so they are going for this on fourth down. Fourth down and 6 in Miami territory. You got to like this aggressive call right here. You got to like the aggressive call right here at home with 100 plus thousand fans. Ball on the 38-yard line. One, three receivers to the near side, one to the far side, one tailback. And was there somebody moved on the Miami is pointing that it was A&M that moved. This could force them to have to punt. This could force them to have to punt. Offense flinched on the line and is going to get a false start. So looking at some of the information, Texas A&M and Miami is two of the most penalized teams in the nation. They really, both teams, they want to win this. They got to be disciplined. They both have to be disciplined in this game. Mistakes like that's going to hurt, so they are going to punt the ball with fourth and 11. Try to pin Miami deep. Punt it really high and a bounce down to around the 8-yard line is where the ball is going to be spotted. First down and 10, Miami at their own 8-yard line. And we're going to go back to advertisements. And I'm going to take a quick break while they're on break. If there's any comments, I will make sure to go over those and answer anything that's in the comments while the teams are on breaks, timeouts, halftime, etc. While both teams are on break, while it's on advertisements, I wanted to talk about their neutral opponent that they did have during the season. Miami played and Texas A&M played Notre Dame. Miami beat Notre Dame 27-24 at home, and Texas A&M went on the road in the third week of the season and beat Notre Dame 41-40. That just kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier on the last break, that these two teams are extremely even. On paper, these teams are extremely even and with their only neutral opponent. Carson Beck is 34-5 career in his career with over 10,000 passing yards. That's the time he spent with Georgia. And then, of course, this past season, he's been with Miami. All right, Miami is going to come out, going to be in the shotgun, one tailback. Gonna have two receivers to the near side and one to the far side. Guy in motion. Now stack formation. Screen pass. Gonna be a quick pass out and it's gonna go to about the 11, 12 yard line. It's gonna be a second down. Second down and 7. And this Texas A&M crowd is absolutely going insane. That has to be hard to hear from Miami. Miami snaps the ball, going to run it pretty much up the middle, and it's going to barrel forward for like a 6 yard gain. They're going to get, oh, shoot. They're going to give them a favorable spot and give them the first down. He lowered his shoulder pad and ran into the Texas A&M Aggie. It looked like, though, his knee was down a little short, but they're going to give it to him. First and 10, Miami. Two to the far side, one to the near side. Shotgun. Gonna be a direct snap to the running back, and he's gonna run to the far side for like 1 yard. They are they are a very, very good team. Both of these are very good teams. This is what playoff football is all about. Back Back in a shotgun. Carson Beck has one running back with him. Two to the near side, two to the far side, kind of like a bunch formation. Gonna pass to a tight end, and he's brought down nearly immediately for a short gain. Third down. Number 87 caught that pass, trying to get to the corner, but he was stopped. That's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Both of these teams play fast. Both of these teams play fast, but with over 100,000 screaming fans. Let's see how Carson Beck and the Miami Hurricanes handle it. Carson Beck, back, shotgun, one tailback, two to the far side, a snap, throw, trying to throw directly over the middle, and it is disrupted by the defense. It is going to be 4th down and 5. Number 4 got in there and broke the ball up. So Miami is definitely going to have to punt it, and it is windy. You look at the towels on the side or sweaters, you see the wind whipping at it. The pass looked like it was a little bit behind the receiver on the replay, but still a great job by the defender to be there and make sure that it was just deflected and knocked down. A little bit of a high snap for the punt, but the punt is off it. And it's going to be a pretty deep one up out of bounds. But Texas A&M is going to get some really good field position out of this. They're going to get the ball at the 38-yard line. 1st down and 10. So about to head back to break. 6:27 to go. 0-0. Both teams were stopped on their first drive. And that's football for you. You got two really good defensive teams, and you end up with a scoring event, and you got two offensive teams, and you end up with a little bit of good defensive performance up to this point. As early, though. Just really good football. So while it's on advertisements, I'm going to take a quick break. So a little bit before they get started here, I'm gonna give a few stats so far. Game leaders, quarterbacks, of course, only one drive each. 13 yards for Marcel Reed, 4 and 6. Also, he's the leading rusher right now with 2 carries and 14 yards for the Texas A&M Aggies. Miami, Carson Beck is 2 for 3 with 6 yards. Leading rusher, 1 carry for 7 yards. Here we go. Texas A&M is at the line, ready. Back in the shotgun. Tight end in motion, moving him to the other side. One tailback. Two to the far side, one to the near side. Number 7 is running. They're going to do a little trickery here, and Marcel Reed carries it again, and for a moderate gain, probably around 4 yards. Second down should be 6. Just make sure where the spot of the ball is. Here we go. 2nd and 4. So they gave him, it was 6 yards on that play. 2nd and 4. Marcel Reed back in the pocket. Snap, pass, complete. Going to be a first down and a little bit more. Going to get about 3 yards past the line of gain. Give them about 9 yards on the completion. 1st and 10, A&M. Snap. Going to be back, looking, plenty of time in the pocket. Pass over the middle. He has a guy, and he gets upended at the 30-yard line. Texas A&M down to Miami's 30-yard line. 1st and 10, A&M. Hit him on a crossing route. Hit his tight end on a crossing route. Plenty of time in the pocket. Good job by the offensive line. Hit number 87 right in the chest for a good gain. Back in the pocket. Shotgun. Bunch formation to the left. Going to throw a screen. Trying to find some room, but just ends up running out of bounds after a 2-yard gain. 2nd down. They're losing a lot of mouthpieces, and these mouthpieces are yellow. He lost his mouthpiece yet again. Somebody's going to end up tripping. Marcel Reed is back in the pocket again. Shotgun formation. Snap. Looking, nobody. Running for his life. He's going to just try to do a shovel pass nearly to his check down. Is going to be incomplete. Let's watch this replay. A tip ball. It was tipped as it was coming out of his hands. Hits the ground. Miami, thinking it might be a fumble, fell on the ball. But let's see if his hands is going forward. His hand looked to be going forward, but the ball was hit before it got all the way around. The defense was all over. Number 0 was the one to get his hand on the ball for Miami. And then the ball hits the turf right around the 30, slips in between his shakedown's leg. Miami falls on it, but let's see what they call it. Right now it's ruled as a incomplete pass. No, it is going to be, it might be reviewed here. Might be reviewed. They're actually calling this a fumble now. So that's a big play for the Miami. It looked like his hand was coming forward. A snap. Carson Beck back in the pocket. They did not review it. He's going to hand it off. The running back got around the corner, and he's going to have about 9 yards on that. A good run on 1st down. I'm surprised they didn't go back and look at that. That looked like his hand was going forward. Now, I didn't see no initial call that it was even a fumble, but then they come back from showing the advertisement, and it's Miami ball. But it is what it is at this point. You can't let it beat you regardless of what it is. Miami to the line. Here's the snap. And he's going to run the ball again for a modest gain. Looks like it's going to be around a 5-yard pickup on that one. Miami back to the line. Back in the pocket. He has 3 around him. He hands it to number 10. 10 is back to pass. I believe he's their backup quarterback. Passes downfield, and it is incomplete. Off the mark. He played quarterback back when he was in high school for his state championship. So he does have some, maybe he's a running back, but he sure knows how to throw the football. 3rd down. So 3rd and long here for Miami. It is loud. You can tell. Carson Beck back. They're going to blow the whistle. The play is stopped. So there's going to be a timeout. Miami calls the 2nd timeout of the half. When you start seeing that kind of stuff happen, you got to credit that to the crowd. If you are a fan, that's what you want. You want the opposing team to be burning timeouts early in the game. 2 minutes, 46 seconds to go in the first quarter. Still 0-0. 3rd down and 7 when it comes back. Hey, welcome back. So a quick mention, of course, there's 2 more games later on today. Ole Miss, Tulane, Oregon, James Madison. This game right here decides who goes on to play Ohio State in the quarterfinals. All right, Miami is back. They're at the line, ready to go. Three to the far side, tailback, quick snap, pass, kind of like a screen play, and it's going to be met immediately for a loss. They did not get anything on that. Fourth down, Miami. They sniffed that out from the beginning. They wasn't fooled for a bit. Stayed in their gaps. Just absolutely sniffed that out from the beginning before the play was even snapped. So fourth down now and long. They're back to snap. Here's the snap. Kick. Gonna be back. Fair. Oh, he missed it. He muffed the punt. A&M, he called for the fair catch, but he muffed the punt, dropped it, fumbled. It fell right through his hands, and he recovers it. But wow, that was a moment. It hit him in the chest and then bounced off of him. You would think that this is just a routine fair catch. No. It hit him in the chest. He tried to get his hands on it, didn't. But luckily, he was able to keep, his eyes on the football and recover his own fumble. So it's going to be first down, Texas A&M. Back in a shotgun. Two on both sides. Two receivers on both sides, one tailback. Snap. Going to be a handoff to the tailback, and he's going to get a little bit of a hole and get a moderate gain. Marcel Reed can run the ball. He's a very dynamic player. While they might need to utilize him in the run game, they probably need to be careful. This is a postseason. You can't play scared of injury, but you cannot get injured either if it's unnecessary. All right, empty backfield. Marcel takes a snap. He's going to run the ball, pull it down. He has the first down and a bit more. He runs out of bounds, avoiding the contact. That was a smart decision. Get the yards you need and get out. Great situation awareness. Get the yards you need and get out. First down and 10. Snap. Going to hand it off. Running to the far side and not going to get anything off of that. Second down. In fact, he may have lost a yard on that. Good job by Miami's defense for sniffing that out. Staying with it. Both defenses are performing mighty well right now. They probably heard all the trash talk about them coming into the game and said, hell no, we ain't going to be like that. Here we go, back in the shotgun. One to the near side, two to the far side. Tight end in motion, back, pass, incomplete, quick pass. Looked like it was just thrown a little bit to the side. It might have went through his hands. I would have to see the replay, but from how I could see it, it was thrown a little bit to the side of him. A little bit outside his reach. Here we go again. Back to the line. Back in the pocket. Shotgun. Two to the near side, one to the far side. Tight end close to the formation. Tailback. Snap. Reed in trouble. Passes. Check down. Gets a few, but that's all he gets. Fourth down and very long. Again, very good job by these two defenses. End of the first quarter, and Miami will get the ball back after this break. Extremely good job by both teams' defense. They are playing with a lot of passion right now. Would not have expected this coming into this game, but good job to both teams. Welcome back. So we're about to resume the action. Just a quick recap. Both defenses have done an amazing job up to this point. Both offenses struggling to get anything going. A&M came close, but after a false start penalty was forced to punt it early on in the first quarter. Now they're 4th and 11, set to punt this ball back to Miami. Here we go. The punt is up, and it is a long one. He is going to return it back up to the 34-yard line and spun down. Number 27, A&M said, no, sir, you are not going to return that. Just excellent job by the defenses. I know I keep saying that, but coming in, just looking at the defensive performances versus the offensive performances for these two teams, it was pretty noticeable gap there. So you definitely sometimes expect something different, but this is football. It could be anything. Great game so far. So let's see what happens right here. Miami has the ball. 1st down and 10. Gonna take it. Run the ball. Gonna hit the far side. Trying to hit the corner. Gonna get a few yards out of it. And it's gonna be 2nd down. Second and 6 yards. That AM crowd is in it for real. Here we go. Miami back in the shotgun. A bunch formation to the far side. Gonna go back. Looking deep. He's taking a shot downfield. He has a guy, but he is overthrown. He had number 1 all to himself. But Carson Beck overshot him just a little bit. But that was, you like those shots sometimes. You got to mix them in there. You got to try to keep the defense honest. That crowd is absolutely awesome. I'm sure it is hyped as heck out there. It sure looks like it. Looks like everybody is making as much noise as they can. It has to be playing a part on Carson Beck. Here's the snap. He's looking. A&M got him behind the line. Is it a fumble? It looks like Carson Beck fumbled. Let's see who recovered. Miami came up with the ball. Number 11 got to the quarterback and stripped the ball before he came down. A fumble, but Miami did recover, it looks like. Number 4 is the one that came up with the ball for Miami. He had 2 backs with him up back there, and he fumbled as he went down. He didn't pull the ball back in. It was still out. Oh, that was just a clean. Oh, that was clean right there by Texas A&M defense to come in there, put that pressure. Here's the punt. Almost blocked. Ooh! A catch. He did not call for a fair catch, and he got lit up. Miami lit him up. Number 7 did not call for a fair catch and got lit up. He went backwards as fast as the ball got into his hands. It's a wonder he did not lose that. Number 22 came in and absolutely lit him up. Clean tackle. Clean but dirty. Clean but dirty. And even the defensive guy is hurt a little bit. He's on the sideline leaning over. I'm sure his shoulders hurt a little bit after that. It's not good. Texas A&M back in the pocket. One tailback behind the quarterback. Marcel Reed goes back. Looking deep. Now they're taking a shot. They have a guy. And number 1 catches it down the field. And he is out of bounds now. He is drove it out of bounds. But not before a major pickup by Texas A&M. He caught that ball. At first he bobbled it, but he brought it in before he was touched, and as he was going out, it looks like the ball came out, but he still had possession, so that would have still been a fumble out of bounds. Good. Snap, run, and it's going to get met at the line of scrimmage. Second down and goal. That usually is probably a touchdown for number one. He would have brought that in a little cleaner. That probably would have been a touchdown. Big play for A&M. Let's see if they can capitalize on this. Marcel Reed back in the pocket in the shotgun. One to the far side, two to the near side. Bunch formation. Back to pass. Marcel Reed is not finding anybody. He's back scrambling. Tries and he just passes it out of bounds. Throws it away. Live to play another down. Third down and 9. It's hard to pass down in this in the red zone, especially when you're at the 10-yard line. There he is, back in the shotgun. Snap. Gonna be a pass, quick one though, and only it looks complete, but only to the 5-yard line. So it's gonna be fourth down and 5 right here. Let's see if they try to be aggressive again. No, it looks like they're gonna settle for the 3 points here, at least for the attempt. In a game like this, these points matter. They're lining up for a short field goal attempt. A lot of wind, though. 22-yard attempt with a lot of wind. And a kick is up. And it is blocked. It's blocked. Miami has the ball running with it. But he ain't going to go too far. He's going to be ran out around the 9-yard line from the angle that I have on here. But wow. Wow, what a momentum shift potentially right here. You line up for almost what should be automatic. And the ball appears to have been batted down. Here is the replay. Yes, they got their arm up. That is why you put your arms up. That's why in football you play. You get up there and jump. You don't just give up. Miami's D-line got their hand up and blocked the field goal and then started to run it back. Just couldn't make too much out of that, but still, excellent job by Miami to prevent A&M from scoring there. We are back on advertisements, so a brief pause until we resume action. But wow, what a game so far. Hey, welcome back. So, gonna start off with the replay of that missed field goal. Yeah, like Miami, I'm trying to get a number here if they give him a good angle of who blocked or name. But he got his hand up over the offensive lineman, the defensive guy got his hand up and swatted the ball down. Big play for Miami to prevent them from scoring. But Miami has the ball back deep in their own territory. First down and 10 at the 13-yard line. Going to hand it off. Going to run. He has 10 yards, 15. And he's going to be brought down after probably around a 16, 17-yard gain. First down and 10, Miami Canes. If you are watching, please put in the comments who you're for. Are you pulling for Miami? Are you pulling for A&M? All right, here we go. The snap. A quick pass. And A&M says, no, sir, and wraps him up behind the line of scrimmage for another short loss. They're trying little screen plays, and it's just not working. A&M is denying it. Second and 11. Here we go. Back in the shotgun. One tailback behind the quarterback. He's back in the pocket. Too far. One near receiver. Gonna hand the ball off again. Gonna drive. But it's only gonna be around 4 yards before Texas A&M and hosts swarm him and stand him up. $9:53 to go in the second quarter. It is loud again. It is loud. They're waving their towels. Third and 8. Shotgun. Two backs for Carson Beck. He is trying. He sees something from the defense. He's at the line trying. They're going to have to call a timeout right here. Carson Beck is over near the Miami sideline trying to figure out what the world he's supposed to do, and they get a flag. Let's see if it was a delay of game because they did not call a timeout. That was a 12th man interference. But I tell you right now, that is a proud thing. If you are a Texas A&M Aggie at the game, that's how you affect the game. That's how you affect it right there. Disrupt the communication. Here we go again. Carson back. Two running backs. One to the far side, one to the near side. Third and 13. Here's the snap. He's looking, a little bit under pressure. He shovel passes it to his check down, and he's met at the initial line of scrimmage and held up by a host of A&M Aggies. And once again, the Aggies make a stand. Miami cannot figure out anything against this A&M defense, but it goes the same for A&M. A&M drives a little bit, but then gets stalled out. Usually it because of either a penalty or a turnover, but they stall out. Here's the punt. Here we go. He called for the fair catch, and that will be fair caught, and it looks like we're going to go back to break, and Texas A&M will have the ball when we get back from break. Score 0-0, 8:16 to go. Unbelievable. Put y'all's comments down at what y'all think about this game up to this point. Here we go again after that short break. What a game it has been so far, especially if you're a fan of the defensive matches. Right now, Carson Beck, 5 of 7 for 8 yards. Marcel Reed, 10 of 14 for 105. Marcel Reed, the leading rusher also for Texas A&M. He is really putting it on his shoulders to make sure he gives his team a chance to win. Here we go. Back in the shotgun. One tailback. Another bunch formation to the far side. But it's going to be a handoff up the middle, and Miami is all over that as they get him for no gain, no more than a yard. But there really wasn't much to talk about there. He got met immediately. Number 99 in host. Second down and 10. Here we go. Back in the shotgun. One tailback. Tight end in motion, moving to the near side. Here's the snap. Another run up the middle. He breaks into a little bit of space, which he's going to pick up a good bit, a good nice chunk of yardage, but is going to be approximately 2 yards from the first down, bringing up third down and short. Third down and 2. Number 4 comes off the field limping a little bit. He's just kind of look like he's trying to shake it off. Here we go, back in the shotgun, waiting for a snap. He had one guy in motion. Now we got a flag on the play. Another false start on Texas A&M. This is why they are struggling. This happened earlier in the game. They were going to go for it on fourth down. False start, punt. This is what you cannot have. Your third down and 2. Now you're third down and 7. This is going to hurt you. You got to play disciplined football. You got to play. That goes for both teams. Right now, Miami's doing a little bit better at that. Here we go. Back in the shotgun. 3 out to the far side. Here's the snap. Quick snap to the running back with 3 blockers. He has the corner. Oh, he about had the corner in a way, and then he tripped up. He juked one guy, moved to like he was going to hit that corner, but then I guess he tripped himself up. Great effort by number 22, but he got tripped up, and he just is one of those things. 4th and 3 yards, so they're going to come out to punt. That is why you have to play disciplined football. Right there, that would have been a first down. Here's the punt. Let's see if Miami returns it. Yes, they do. They're going to try to return it. He's working his way to the outside. He's up to the 30 to 35, 40, crossing the 45. He has some space. He ain't going out of bounds. He's down to the 25-yard line and trips up. Only the punter could have got him, and the punter got his leg just enough. Wow. Wow. You got to be careful when punting to number 10. It looked like he was going to step out of bounds, but he worked his way down the sideline and was beating everyone. He had it. Corner right there, you thought he was gonna step out, and no, he worked his way back in, and then tripped up. Wait, he didn't even like the punter swiped at his leg, but didn't touch it. It don't really look like he might have gotten a finger on his leg just enough. But either way, here we go. 1st and 10. Carson Beck snap handoff. To run to the far side and hit about immediately maybe diving forward, got a yard out of that. Second down. Game of inches. Game of inches. He almost broke that for a touchdown. Second down and 9 on the Texas A&M's 24. Threatening for the first time in this game. 4-receiver bunch to the near side. Player in motion. Going to toss it to the running back coming across. Jet sweep and going to be hit right at the line. They had 4 guys over to the near side and then put the running back in motion, did a little toss to him and tried to break it out to the other side of the field, and just it didn't work. This A&M Aggie defense, the front 7, is absolutely dominating right now up front. Miami may need to do another shot downfield or something to back this A&M defense off if they want to get something. Here we go again. Carson Beck. Crowd is really loud. 3 to the near side. Here's the snap. Carson Beck in trouble and brought down, wrapped up. 2 guys got a hold of him. He wasn't going nowhere. 4th down, Miami. Great job by the Texas A&M defense on that to get the pressure. 2 guys came off of the near side. 2 linebackers. Pocket collapse. And that's pretty much all she wrote. Carson Beck was surrounded and tackled before he even really knew what was happening. Miami's turn to try a field goal. This one's a bit longer, 47 yards. Here it is, up, and it is no good. No good to win. It looked like assisted on that. Wow. 2 field goals one by each team. Different reasons, but both miss. Both miss. Neither team is able to move the ball effectively on the ground consistently. Yeah, it looked like it was going to be good, but that wind is blowing strong to the right, and it looks like it just blew the ball to the right, just to the right of the goalpost. So it is still 0-0. 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the half. Unbelievable. Did not expect this. This is what was expected from last night's game. And last night's game was expected in this game. But it's still great football. And Miami, A&M, let's see who can get it in first. That might be the determining factor. They are right now on commercial break, so I'm going to take a slight break myself. Please comment, and I will mention it. Here we go back with the action really quick. They're going to cut back, snap. Here we go, run. Marcel Reed, quick start to it. They snapped immediately when they could, and he gets a first down. There's going to be two more games coming up today. Here we go. Texas A&M hurrying up, back in the shotgun. Here we go, snap. Gonna hand it off up the middle. Not much working up the middle. Gonna be second down. Probably 9 yards. Gonna make sure the spotted the ball. Here we go. Back in the shotgun. Marcel Reed by himself at the moment. Three to the near side. And they got a running back now beside it. Gonna pass. Gonna pass the one, and he's got about 5 yards on that play. Should be third and 4 yards. Third down and four. 2:15 to go. Moving close to that 2-minute timeout. They might not snap it again. It don't look like they're going to snap it again before that 2-minute timeout here. No, they did not. They're going to let that 2-minute timeout happen and resume the action afterwards. So far, absolutely great defensive performance. A few mistakes by each team led us to this current big egg who's on the scoreboard 0-0 near the half. A few stats updates while waiting on the game to come back on. Right now, Marcel Reed, 12 for 16, 113 yards. Carson Beck, 9 yards, 6 out of 8. Marcel Reed is also the leading ball carrier for Texas A&M Aggies with 39 yards. Time of possession for both teams. Texas A&M, 15 minutes, 32 seconds, 12 minutes, 1 second for Miami. So far, both of these teams have played pretty close. Of course, the yards advantage does come to A&M. They've moved the ball a little bit more effectively than Miami, but they do have the one turnover. Miami does not, as of this point. Two penalties for 10 yards, one penalty for Miami for 5 yards. Pretty even, other than passing yards is a bit more for A&M. Here we go, back in the shotgun. Two to the far side, one to the near side. Tight end near the line. Snap. Here we go. Marcel Reed passes a little bit low, possibly it's incomplete. He tried to hit his running back coming out of the pocket, and it just looks like he may have dropped it and probably was a little low. Here's the replay. Yeah, it comes out low, and it just, number 22 is just not able to get it. 4th and 4. So here we go again. A&M is set up to punt. Let's see if Miami can get another big punt return. That's what set them up for that field goal, the last drive. Oh, it's a fake! It's a fake! They pass it! It's a fake. The punter passes it and tries to pass it to number 3 and is incomplete. He was covered, so it did not fool Miami that much. But here we go. It looks like a punt. It's going to be a punt. He pulls it up and passes. The pass is almost on the mark, but he just can't pull it in. He jumps up, tries to one-hand it. The cornerback was just right there all over him, number 13, and he just could not pull it in. So it's going to be a turnover on downs. 1st down and 10 in Texas A&M territory, 46-yard line. Here we go, handoff. Up the middle, pushing his way forward. Maybe 3 yards on that play, 2nd down. See where they spot the ball at. Yes, 3 yards on that, 2nd and 7. The 12th man is back on the field. Texas A&M has to be proud of their presence there. Here we go, back in the shotgun. Here we go, going to run the ball, and that's going to be a loss of 1 or 2 yards right there, depending on how they call this spot. Look like could be 2-yard loss on that. 3rd down. 3rd down and long. Third and 8 yards. So it was caught a loss of 1. Back two running backs beside Carson Beck. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Doesn't appear to be any tight ends up on the line. Let's see, the first time out, Texas A&M. They probably seen something that they didn't like or wanted to just to make sure to get this play call right. You stop them here, the game probably goes to halftime 0-0. They definitely are not in field goal range, especially with the wind. The wind is going to be a major factor with these field goals, especially the long ones. Just a quick timeout, not a commercial break or anything. It's like a 30-second. They're already back on the field. 3rd and 8. Same formation for Miami. 2 back beside Carson Beck. 2 out wide, 1 to the near side. Doesn't look like there's any tight ends on the line. A&M showing blitz. They're going to try to bring it. Carson Beck gets it off, throws it, and it is caught. Number 7 caught the ball for a 1st down. 1st down and 10. Now at the 30-yard line, moving quickly to the line. 1 halfback, 2 receivers to the far side and near side. Gonna snap. Carson Beck looking, has time though. And he gets a completion and he's going to pick up 8 yards on that. Now Miami's turn to have something going for him. Let's see the replay and make sure. Oh, the ball was bobbled, but let's see if he got it. Let's see if they might show a different angle because it first hit his hands. It looked like it bobbled. Then it looks like he went back up, grabbed it, but he was also falling towards out of bounds when he was going back after it. So they're about to review this play to see if he had control over the ball before he fell and out of bounds and maintained possession all the way through. Looking at the replay now, he did. It looks like he did pull it in before he went to the ground, and it appears that he survived before. Here's another angle from the backside. And it looks like this is going to be a catch to me. This is my opinion, though. This is not an official call yet. But based off of that, he pulls it into his body. He goes to the ground. Let's make sure he has the possession before his foot touches out of bounds. Yeah, I say catch. He gets control. It looks like it's going to be a catch. I was expecting it to be a catch. I believe it's going to be a catch. Just waiting to see. The officials are still looking at the play. So they reset the game clock to see what they did rule it complete. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. 10 seconds on the game clock. Sound like now it's 11 seconds. I thought they mentioned to reset it. They did. They put 1 more second on the game clock. Miami has 1 timeout. A&M has 2, but right now Miami is looking to try to punch it in. With 11 seconds, Carson Beck back in the shotgun bunch formation. 1 to the near side, back, pass, corner, the end zone, a little too far. Overshot his receiver. Well covered, though, by number 2. Number 7 was well covered by number 2. 3rd down and 2, 7 seconds left. What do you do? Do you take another shot to the end zone really quick before trying another field goal? Or do you just run the ball, try to center it, and kneel and call a timeout quickly to give yourself time to do a last-second timeout? And this wind is whipping. It'd be, let's see, back in the shotgun. He's going to do a quick pass, fade over to the side, far side, and incomplete. Really quick. 4th and 2, 3 seconds to go. Pretty sure, yeah, they're running the kicker out onto the field, so this is going to be a field goal attempt by Miami. 3 seconds. This should be the last play of the half. 40-yard attempt. A lot of wind blowing to the near side of the field. The ball is on the far hash mark. That may help. Here's the kick. It is up. And it is no good. Once again, it is wide right. I don't know if it is the kicker or it is truly that wind that is whipping. But he misses a second field goal. This one was a little closer. Still far. But yes, it sailed to the right the way the wind is blowing. So you definitely have to think that that might be a factor in this. But it is going to go to half. And it is going to be 0-0. Please comment and tell me if you thought this was going to happen because I sure didn't. I was expecting both teams to probably have 20 plus points at this point. So, absolutely outstanding job by the defenses, and a couple of missed opportunities also from both sides led to this. But absolutely stunning with it being a double goose egg on the scoreboard right now. And I will be taking a short break. I will be keeping an eye on the comments. If there are any, I will make sure to mention, call them out. Also, thanks for tuning in to the game. Definitely going to continue the coverage in the second half. I will give a few stats right quick for the leaders. But this has been an absolute incredible performance from both defenses. A little sloppy on the offensive for the offenses, but still a really good game. So, of course, Carson Beck total 31 yards, 8 out of 12. Marcel Reed, 12 out of 17 for 113. Miami's leading rusher, 40 yards, 7 carries. Leading for A&M, 39 yards rushing, 6 carries. Leading receiver for Miami, C. Daniels, 14 yards, 1 reception. Leading receiver, Carver, for 74 yards, 5 carries, 1 sack. For well, I guess they actually have more than 1 sack, but of course, tackle leaders, both 5 yards, 1 yard. Each player has 1 yard, so pretty evenly matched. Both teams have a few sacks in there. Both a couple players have sacks, so there really is not a defined leader in that category. When you have multiple sacks in a game by different individuals, just an overall great performance by the defense. Leading tacklers for both teams have 5 tackles. Right now, time of possession goes in favor of Texas A&M with 16 minutes, 8 seconds, but close behind. Pretty balanced, 13 minutes, 52 seconds, Miami. Penalties, 2 penalties for Texas A&M, 10 yards. 1 penalty still only for Miami, 5 yards. So a little bit more discipline. 1 turnover for Texas A&M. 1 missed field goal attempt for A&M, 2 for Miami. Of course, Miami blocked the A&M field goal attempt and the wind, or blocked it, or it was just a shank to the right. But either way, still scoreless here at halftime. I'm going to take about a 10, 15-minute break while we're at half. I will make sure to keep an eye on the comments and resume once the game is close to starting again or once it starts for the second half. Thank you for watching. Hey everyone, welcome back. So we're ready to get kicked off and started for the second half. And the ball blows off of the tee, so while they fix that, uh, we will be holding by momentarily. The wind, I did check it while on halftime, is blowing at 17 miles per hour and should be whipping the entire game, the rest of the remainder of the game, should I say. Here we go. They got somebody holding the ball, kicking into the wind. Here's the kick, and it's going to be fair caught right at the end zone. So we're going to get started with action. Miami going to be 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line to start this second half off. Great game so far. I know double zeros on the board, but it's defense. If games can be just as good as offensive games, some people prefer those, and that's exactly what this one is. The two defenses sure came to play. They didn't get a lot of hype when everybody was making their predictions, and they're like, hell no, we're going to come in and show ourselves. All right, Miami back, snaps, going to be firing and going to catch it for a first down and a little bit more, 15, 16 yards on the play. So first down, Miami on the first play, coming in with a little bit of tempo. Miami 1st and 10. Back in the shotgun, one tailback, two receivers out wide, too near. Here's a catch, another catch. He's going to make one guy miss, make another guy miss. He's going to be up and then now across the 50-yard line. So first down and 10, Miami. Miami has something working right at the moment. It's just about getting in rhythm. A lot of it is they in the first half seen a lot of short passes by Miami, screens, stuff like that, and it just RPOs. It just wasn't too much downfield. Here we go, a handoff to the halfback, and they meet him behind the line. Didn't fool them a bit. Faked it to one, handed it off to the second, and upended it immediately for a loss. So it's going to be second down after that. Second down and 14, loss of 4 on that play. Texas A&M's defense is trying to motivate the crowd to get into it. They want this noise. Carson Beck, empty backfield, a 4-receiver bunch to the near side, 1 receiver to the far side. A snap, a throw to the far side, and it's caught, and he's now in field goal range. He's going to get a lot of that back and then some. It's going to be third down and very short, probably around third down and 2 or 3, depending on where they spot the ball at. Because he reached for the Palom, but of course, to give himself as many yards as possible. Third down and short. Now going to snap the ball, hand the ball off to the running back. He is loose at the 20, the 15, and hit and down to the 10, 9-yard line. Let's see where they spot the ball, but he is definitely inside the 10. He got a gap opened up, and he shot into it. Good blocking by number 9 on that play. Open up that running lane for number 4. He got into it and was in the second level in no time. It is now 1st and goal. Ball appears to be dead on the 10-yard line. A&M calls our first time out. I do wonder why. Maybe a personnel grouping, something they didn't like, a matchup potential, because this is very early in the second half to be calling one of your timeouts. This type of game, you're going to need them for late in the fourth quarter, perhaps. So you You don't want to waste them. But we are currently on break. Kind of go back over things. Of course, score 0-0. Two missed field goals by Miami. One blocked field goal for A&M. And then just pretty much one turnover A&M. Other than that, it's just been all defense coming up with big stops. A&M has been able to move the ball a little bit better than Miami. But Miami is starting, at least especially on this drive, starting to look like they can move the ball efficiently. So we'll see if these offenses get going. There are two more games today for the playoffs. One coming up after this at 3:30. Ole Miss Tulane winner that will face Georgia in the quarterfinals. Then Oregon James Madison winner that will face Texas Tech. The winner of this game will face Ohio State. Alabama beat Oklahoma last night to move on to play Indiana, which should be a really good matchup to next week. Big Ten champ, Heisman winning quarterback versus Alabama. Of course, everybody, Alabama, 3 losses, etc. But Alabama is still a really good team, really physical, used to playing physical, high caliber opponents in big games. So it will be a serious clash come next weekend. Marcel Reed, looking at the stats, game leaders, 12 of 17, 113. Carson Beck now 11 for 15, 76 yards. They Miami is having a little bit more success on the ground. They're running rusher leader 64 yards on 8 carries, 39. And A&M's leader is Marcel Reed with 6 carries for 39 yards. So a little bit of an advantage for A&M on the passing and a little bit of an advantage for Miami on the ground. Here we go. Back ready to play. Ball is barely on the 10-yard line. What in the world is this? Gunnar Stockton, a direct snap now to the running back, and he is going to be up to around the 6-yard line. Second down and goal. On that play, there was 3 guys around Carson Beck. Carson Beck ran out of the pocket, and then there was a direct snap to number 10 that took it right up the middle. See what they do on second down. Shotgun, bunch formation, just on the other side of the line of scrimmage. One tailback. Here we go. A snap. Gonna run out. Pass. End zone. Overthrown. He might have just threw that away because he didn't have nobody. But it was thrown in the direction of number 0 near the back of the end zone, but he was well covered. Carson Beck is 3 out of 4 on this drive. So Miami in the first half was pretty much dominated and almost kept to nothing through the air. We'll see how it continues to go through this second half. Third down and goal. Ball on the 7. Bunch formation to the far side. Snap. Looking. Carson Beck decides to run the ball, and he gets down to around the 3-4 yard line, but is stopped. So it will be 4th and goal. He didn't have nothing open. He had a little bit of room to run, and he tried to get to the end zone. He don't do that a lot. He can do it, though, and he sure did try. He got a few, but not enough for a touchdown. Here we go again. Miami's third attempt at a field goal. This one from the 21-yard line, or a 21-yard attempt, should I say. Ball will be held on the 11, but 21-yard attempt. Here we go. Is up, and it is good. Miami strikes first with 3 points. Third time is the charm. For real, in this case, for Miami. 3-0. Miami. 10:34 to go in the third quarter. And we are back to advertisement break. So as soon as we come back, I will pick back up on the action. So we're about ready to get back to the action. So Miami just got a field goal to put them up 3-0 over Texas A&M. Aggies at home. The crowd does seem to be in it. Just some mistakes by A&M. A blocked field goal early on in the game by Miami kept A&M off the board. So they're lining up for the kickoff to get things going again. All right, they got the ball on the tee. They have to have a guy holding it now because of the wind. Here we go. The kick is off. And it is going to be a touchback out the back of the end zone. So now it'll be Texas A&M's turn to see if they can answer this 3 points from Miami. A lot of time left in the game, but you still got to answer. You can't let it go. Got to settle in and find a way not to make those little mistakes, false starts and stuff like that. Here we go. Quick snap. Number 7 runs the ball to the far side and is going to get around 8 yards on that. Lowered his shoulder, 7-on-7. And number 7 for Miami is getting up a little bit. It looks like he's shook up a little bit. Running back lowered his pads, shoulder pads, and just went into that defensive player. Probably knocked his breath out, it looks like. Just a big collision. Right now, the action is paused for this injury. They're checking on the player. He got up and then he laid back down onto the field. Hopefully, he is okay. Definitely not good. Never good when a player gets hurt like this. Football is nice to see physical, but you don't like seeing players get hurt. Even though that's just kind of a part of it, but it's not good. Definitely wasn't a targeting. After watching the replay, it was clean. It was just a hard hit, and how his body kind of twisted was probably more of the problem. He is up walking. They're walking him back to the sideline. He's walking on his own. That's positive, but he is being took back to the locker room, probably to get X-rays or something. So there's a good chance he is done for the game. I'm pretty sure that number 7 is a big time defensive player for Miami, so that's not good for them. They hand A&M hands it off, gonna run, try to get those couple yards and see where they spot the ball. First down. First down, Texas A&M. Ball is on the 36-yard line. Yeah, number 7's back in the locker room, taking off his helmet. Let's see. Their A&M is in a shotgun, one wide and two to the near. And Reed was being blitzed. They had all type of pressure on Reed, and he just had to throw it away. Miami thought that it was a live ball, picked it up, started to run with it. Of course, the whistles were blowing, so it's going to be second down and 10. They ruled it a incomplete pass. But Reed all of a sudden seen two Miami jerseys in his face, trying to run backwards and just trying to get rid of the ball. There was a flag on the play for looks to be intentional grounding because he was just trying to get rid of it. I do not believe there was a receiver in the area. He was just trying to prevent a big loss. All right, Marcel Reed back in the shotgun. One tailback, one wide receiver wide. He is looking, time. He is open. He checks it down to his room back. And he's going to try to fight, making guys miss, but then the you could say that Miami's defense swarmed him, closed in on him, kept him from really going anywhere. He juked a couple before being brought down. Short gain, third down. So after that intentional grounding, it's going to be in that short play, third down and 17. A&M has driven themselves back into a hole on this drive. Let's see if they can get out of it. Back in the shotgun, two out to the far side, one to the near side. Here's the snap. Back, got time, has time, throws over the middle, and it sails right into Miami's hands. Number 13 has got it at the 40, the 30, the 25, and down to around the 21-yard line. Let's see if Zach spotted the ball, but that is going to be an interception for Miami. And Miami ball in striking territory. He was looking. He had a guy in the middle. He had a guy in the middle, but maybe it was just bad communication because he was throwing in between into a tight window and it sailed a little bit. Maybe that was just it. It sailed a little bit. Whatever the case is, the safety over the top, number 13, caught it instead of the offense and took it back the other way. It's Miami's ball and definitely within field goal range already. So 1st and 10. Looks like number 10. He's going to hand it off. Double, triple, reverse. Carson Beck has the ball now, and he just runs and slides. Didn't have nothing. He looked like he was going to take a shot downfield. Definitely some trickery right there. Really, it got him a little bit, but no big payoff. Stick it down and see where the spot of the ball was. He only got 2 from that. So Carson Beck back in a shotgun. Ball on the 18-yard line. Snap. He's going to hand it off and just going to try to wiggle his way up the middle for a couple. 3rd down. Number 32 on the carry. 22 on the carry. Back in the shotgun. 2 out to the far side. 2 to the near side. A&M is showing blitz. Carson Beck seeing it. Making a check on the line. Switch sides of what side the running back was on of his. Snap. Throw. Targeting the end zone. It is going to be disrupted and it's going to hit the turf. 4th down and 7. A&M said if you're going to score, it's only going to be a field goal. And that's a big win if you're for A&M's defense, for A&M entirely. You turn the ball over, they're already in striking distance. They're only like 20, 21 yards out, and you stop them from scoring a touchdown. Now you force this field goal attempt. Right now, 1 of 3. 1 of 3. 35-yard attempt. It is up. And it is off the left upright. No good. He is now 1 of 4. It looked like he kicked it a little bit to the left, hoping that wind was going to help him. And this time, it did not help him. It hit the upright. It hit the left upright. They were on the left hash mark and it hit the left side. Wind blowing to the right. That was a big missed opportunity. Right now, if Miami have gotten every single field goal, it would be 12-0 right now. Considering A&M, if they would have scored their field goal, 12-3. But that's just hypotheticals. We got to live within what happened. 1 for 4. 1 for 4. A&M 0 for 1 in field goal attempts. Neither one have found the end zone yet for 6. Absolutely not expected here. But there are 7 minutes and 13 seconds in the 3rd quarter, still a whole nother quarter and a half to go. So anything could still happen. This is still anyone's game. Still on advertisement, so as soon as they come back, because of that miss, it'll be A&M's ball, turnover on downs. So as soon as it comes back, we'll resume play with A&M trying to get into the end zone. Hey, we're back. So they ran a very, very quick play before they came back from advertisements. Looked like it was just a handoff for 3 yards. Take it down in 7. I'll be back in the shotgun. Gonna hand it off again. A little bit more space up the middle this time. Gonna get close to that marker, but still gonna be 3rd down and short. Third down and 1. Back in the pocket and the shotgun. Back in the shotgun. 2 wide. Out to the far side. Here's the snap. Gonna be another handoff up the middle. 1st down. Just a couple yards, but just that was all they needed to get that 1st down. Number 8, Texas A&M getting up limping, going to the sideline. Hopefully it's nothing serious. He's able to get off himself, just limping. Probably twisted his ankle. Never good, but medical people went over there to check on him. Hopefully he'll be fine. Back in the shotgun, ready to snap the ball again. Back in the pocket. Marcel Reed looks. He's scrambling out to the side. He has nobody, and he gets hit behind the line for a loss of 1. 2nd down. That will probably go down as a sack for number 0, Miami. He had nobody, and he started scrambling, got outside the pocket to the right. Good Good job at number 0, making sure that he stays contained, then he closes that gap and hits him. Definitely good job by Miami's defense. Going to be 2nd down and 11 now. Marcel Reed back in the shotgun. One tailback, one receiver out far, wide. Snap. He's looking, scrambling around in the pocket. Gonna throw it to number 7 to check down, and he is hit. Ooh, let's see if he gets called for a penalty on that. Let's see if he gets called for a personal foul on that. No. Wow. After he stepped out of bounds, the defense of number 29 slung down the receiver. I am very surprised that that is not a personal foul. Watching the replay, he's out of bounds and he just absolutely slung down the receiver after he was already out of bounds. 3rd down and 4. Reed back in the shotgun. Here's the snap. Going back to pass. Pressure again. Running for his life. Checking for somebody. Nobody. Throw it away. 4th down and 4. Miami defense is fired up. They hold. 4th down and 4. They will definitely have to punt this. They got good pressure on Reed that time. Kept the receivers covered. Here we go. A&M is back to punt. Let's see if they try something. No, they're going to get the kickoff. It's going to be back at around the 18 caught. He is going to return this, kind of go back up around the 25, 26 yard line where he'll be stopped. 1st down and 10. Despite the fact that Texas A&M has struggled in this game up to this point, especially offensively, they're still in it. 3 points is not much. This is a very close competitive game. It's still anyone's game. A lot of time still left in the game. 3:33 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Gonna take a brief break while I was on advertisements. Hey everyone, we're about ready to get back to the action. They should be coming back shortly. Just gonna drop a couple stats right now. So right now, A&M has 2 turnovers. Time of possession 21 minutes 45 seconds. No turnovers for Miami. Time of possession 19 minutes and 42 seconds. Marcel Reed 14 for 21, one interception, 125 yards. Carson Beck 11 of 17 for 67 yards. Miami, one of 4 field goals. They have missed 3 field goals in this game. Texas A&M attempted a short field goal and it was blocked early on in the game. Highly competitive defensive match. Here we go. Miami snapped the ball, handoff into the middle, and he is going to be dragging a defensive guy for about 4 or 5 yards. And he's going to pick up about 13 to 14 yards. Going to check on the spot of the ball, but it's definitely going to be first down and 10, Miami. Number 4 went out limping earlier in the game, but he is back, and he's going to make his presence felt. And another group that's making their presence felt is the Texas A&M Aggies fan base. Here we go. Carson Beck back. Snap. Gonna hand it off again, right up the middle this time. Texas A&M stood him up at the line, no more than a yard. Yes, there is a Texas A&M Aggies player is down. That's not good. They are calling the crew out onto the field to check on him. So checking, watching to see what this injury might be. Hopefully it's not bad. Defensive lineman. Try to get a number or name here. It's just been a really competitive game. Really physical in the trenches. Nobody's been able to really run up the middle. It's just been one of them games. I sure didn't predict it to be this type of game. This is what I kind of thought the OU Alabama game was going to be, and it wasn't. So, once again, kind of defying the odds. The defenses have sure come to play. They're helping number 17, it looked like, off the field. They panned to him just for a quick second. He is up on walking off the field on his own, so that's a good sign. His helmet is off, so he'll be out for at least a play or two. maybe for the game. Number 17. Do not have a name right off the top for the Texas A&M defensive line. Miami is back in the shotgun, ready to resume action. 3 to the far side, 1 to the near side. Snap, blitz, screen pass. Gonna get around 5, maybe 6 yards and stood up. Number 8 on the catch. Sorry, correction, bad angle. Number 3 on the catch. Third down and 5, 1:48 to go in the game. Back in the shotgun. Carson Beck has 2 people beside him. 1 receiver out to the far side. Snap, run. But Texas A&M grabs him. He breaks free of 1 tackle and gets around 3 yards. So now it's going to be 4th down and very short, just around the midfield. So let's see if Miami wants to be aggressive or they're going to play field position here. 4th and 2. In a game like this where defense is really doing well, you might want to punt it. Then again, some of the biggest games have come from people being aggressive in situations like this. They are going to bring the punter out onto the field, so they might try some trickery here, but the punter is out on the field on this 4th and 2. There was a flag on Miami for delay of game, so that will actually back the ball up to 4th and 7. Definitely going to be a punt now. 48 seconds left to go before the 4th quarter. And in a game of the fewest mistakes, A&M sure has been one to make the most. Field goal, the kick is off. Catch is made, fair caught, down around the 16-yard line. 1st and 10, Texas A&M. To go back about the field goals. 3 missed field goals by Miami. 1 blocked field goal attempt from A&M early in the game. Yeah, it is absolutely crazy. The wind might be playing a factor some of the cause, but I really expected these offenses to do a bit more. But you have to tip your hat to these defenses. Both of them are performing outstanding in an outstanding manner. 3-0 Miami. 33 seconds to go in the quarter. Snap. Marcel Reed being chased. He's going to get hit by number 4 back around the 6-yard line. Marcel Reed dodged 1 tackle, spun around, tried to come back, and was hit by number 4. They're definitely getting a lot of heat. He is running a lot of the time in this game for his life, trying to make something out of nothing. You got to protect your quarterback, and in this game, it just hasn't happened that much. Not like it needs to, but championship caliber game. So we are going to be at the end of the 3rd quarter. We're going to go to break. 3-0. Miami coming into this final quarter of play. Still anyone's game. But if Texas wants to hang on in this game, they got to get some momentum going on this offense. They can't be taking these losses like they have been. But I'm going to take a quick break. I will keep an eye on the comments, comment on anything that comes through, and resume play-by-play as soon as it comes back. Just want to provide a quick stat update before we get back going, which we should soon. Texas A&M with a total of 189 yards, 2 turnovers, 10 first downs, 3 penalties, 4 for 11 on third down, 0 for 1 on fourth down. Time of possession, 22 minutes, 18 seconds. Miami, 165 yards, 0 turnovers, 8 first downs, 2 penalties, 2 for 11 on third down. They have not gone for it on fourth down. And time of possession, 22 minutes and 42 seconds. This is the first update that I've looked at for the stats showing Miami with the majority time of possession, even though it's only by seconds. Even though it's only by seconds, Miami is starting to slowly get a gap here, not turning the ball over, starting to move the ball better. They had like under 100 yards in the first half. There was a couple minute gap between A&M and Miami before. Here we go with play. Marcel Reed back in the shotgun. One tailback, snap. He's standing near his end zone. Goes up in the pocket and passes. And it's complete, but it's not going to be good enough for a first down. A good chunk, but it's not going to be good enough quite for a first down. They need 3 more yards for a first down. Third down and 3. There's a manageable third down play. You can do your playbook is almost wide open on this one. Back in the shotgun. Back in the shotgun. Appears like he don't have nobody back there with him. Goes back to pass. He's looking. He's gonna step up in the pocket and he's gonna pass. And it is a first down, A&M. They needed that big time to get out of the shadow of the goal line. First down and 10. They come to the line quickly. 4 receivers to the far side. Empty backfield. Here's the snap. He's looking. Going to scramble to the near side. Marcel Reed picks up a couple yards as a quarterback keeper. He's going to pick up a couple. It looked like he was looking and didn't see nobody open, so he kept it. Going back to the line. 2nd and 8. Early in the fourth quarter. One tailback. Here's the snap. There's going to be a handoff and a short gain of around 2 yards, third down. They're trying. Both teams have done really well against the run in this game. Really good. Here we go again, coming to the line. Everybody trying to get where they're supposed to be. 3 receivers far out, shotgun. 1 tailback. Let's see, number 1's on that far side. Let's see what happens. Quick pass to number 1. Gonna get the corner, and it looks like he may just have the first down. They're spotting the ball. First down. First down, A&M. Just enough. Tight rope. Like a tight rope that sideline. Got just over the pylon. 1 yard pass. Got that first down, though. First down and 10 for Texas A&M. Snap, quick. And going to hand off the ball up the middle. Miami was ready for that, though, and they met him immediately. Only a couple yards. 1-2 yards at most. 2nd down. They're able to run a little bit of time off of this clock now. Running the ball like this, staying in bounds. 2nd and 8. Back in the shotgun. Number 4 back there with him. One receiver far out wide, two to the near side. And there's going to be a fake handoff, a quick pass to number 7 towards the side, and he's going to run up and get around 4 or 5 yards. So it's going to make this a third and manageable. Really good, just strategic. Take little chunks. You don't have to have big plays, just little chunks in this game. Eat the clock. Fourth quarter. Both defenses performing really well. Here they go, back in the shotgun. Two out to the far side, two to the near side. Man in motion coming to the near side. And a offensive lineman fell over, a flag on the play. I don't know if he was just trying to sell that as. See. Defense. Offsides. Number 11 was the jersey number called for that. Let me make sure that's. Yeah, number 11, he jumped and shoved the offensive guard down. It's not funny. I think the offensive guard kind of sold that a little bit because he stayed down afterwards, just with his arms out wide. He's okay. Got back up completely fine. Here we go. Snap. Going back. Fake handoff. Going to be looking downfield. He has a guy open, but it was a low pass. Low pass. It was a catch though. If he would have hit him in stride, that would have been a touchdown maybe. But still, is a good catch and a first down for Texas A&M. It's going to be a review though. It looked like a catch and the play while the play was happening in real time. But let's see what happens when we look at it in the replay. It looks incomplete based off the first one. Did he? Yes, it fell to the ground. It slipped through his hands, just fell to the ground. He just kind of tucked it in once he was on the ground. But I do believe this is going to get reversed and be an incomplete pass. They went to a commercial break while they're reviewing it. When they come back, it should be an incomplete pass. I will also break for a quick second while they are on commercials. Hey, so we are back. They are showing the replay. It did look like he hit the ground as he was trying to bring it in, and yes, it was reversed. It is going to be second down and 10. A&M back in the shotgun. Two receivers to the far side, one to the near side. One in motion. Going to be a fake handoff and a quick pass to the outside, incomplete. Just thrown a little bit outside. Number 7 was the intended target on that pass. They was trying to make it for third down and manageable, try to cut some of that distance right there with a mid-range pass. Incomplete though, so third down and long. Miami has a chance to get a big stop here. Texas is back in a shotgun. One receiver wide, one to the near side. Receiver in motion from the far side, and he's going to pass. And he's going to probably have the enough for the first down, pitch and catch. He was hit right at the marker, and yes, they do give him forward progress. He was hit at the line of scrimmage and then driven back a little bit, but he does have forward progress. First down and 10, A&M. Now whistles come in. So we got another review. I guess the spot of the ball. They stopped the play. They stopped the gameplay and called for a review. The call on the field was a catch for a first down. So now I guess they're trying to see where the spot of the ball was. On here, it does. Ooh. Ooh. He got pushed back. And that's the big thing. 3 Miami defenders came and swarmed him. He got pushed back. But that forward progress, is that ball at or beyond the first down marker? That was hard to tell on that image, on that replay. Both of them have played really physical in the game, really physical. A defensive bout. It looks like the ball did cross the first down marker, but it is not up to me. This is up to the refs. It looked like he got it to the 31. He just had to get the ball to the nose of the football to the 31. It definitely looked like he did before getting pushed back. So they're taking their time looking at this play. Been an amazing game so far. Here we go with the call. The ruling on the field was upheld. So first down A&M. Game has been awesome. Defense about. First down and 10 at the 31. A&M trying to capitalize on this drive. 10 minutes, 11 seconds left in the game. Well, every time you get a shot here, it matters. Back in the shotgun, 3 out wide, none to the near side, no receivers. They're making sure to go through their checks. Snap. Taking their time. Here's a pass. Going to get the first down and work his way free, twist around, work his way free for another yard. So he's going to pick up around 11, 12 yards on that play. First down, Texas A&M. Another first down. A big factor is the wind. The wind is at 17, a sustained wind at 17 miles per hour in this game. Throughout this whole entire game, it's going to be, and you can tell when you see jackets or the towels that the players sometimes have tucked into their jerseys, and it is whipping. And that's definitely affected Miami with 3 missed field goals, all wide, except for 2 of them went wide right. Could have been the wind, and the other one, maybe he was trying to make some corrections for potential push from the wind, but it hit the left goalpost, bounced off, missing it. Texas A&M tried a field goal early in the first quarter, and it was tipped by the defense and then returned by the defense for they didn't get too far, but it was still a blocked field goal. An excellent play by the defensive line of Miami's to get in there, and that could very well be what decided the game. In a game this close right now, if they wouldn't have done that, it'd be 3-3 right now. So, big play. You got to play every single down, every single play. So, after a little bit of talking on the sideline, they finally go to advertisements. Maybe these advertisements won't last too long, being that they already was at the sideline. Going to go over a couple stats here, couple leaders. Of course, Marcel Reed, 20 of 29 now, one interception from earlier, 186 yard. Carson Beck, 12 of 18 for 80 yards. Excuse me. And right now, rushing leader, 21 yards for A&M, 81 for Miami. Just from those stats right there, not a lot for either team. Both teams are looking for anything and everything right now. Anything and everything. Total yardage, 257 to 165. A game time of possession, 27 minutes, 32 seconds. 22 minutes, 42 seconds for Miami is tipped back in A&M's favor, especially with this long, methodical drive. Just chipping away at this clock, trying to put themselves on the board. Now they're 7 of 14. Earlier they were like 4 of 11, so they started kind of coming back on third downs, getting those conversions. That's big if you want to keep moving the ball. 2 turnovers though for A&M, no turnovers from Miami. Big reason why Miami has had as many opportunities as they have had, because the defense has played really well for A&M. But when you turn over the ball, you put yourself in bad situations. And Miami struck home with 1 field goal, 1 out of 4 to get the lead, and has maintained that since the third quarter. What's really surprising is going to halftime 0-0, though. That's probably the most surprising thing of all. So we're back. I guess back ready to get some play going here in just a second, showing the replays, what kind of got them to this point on the field. Found some success. Like I said a second ago, being methodical on this drive, just chipping away mid-range, 5-yard passes, making a guy or two miss, putting your shoulder pad down, getting those extra yardage. Right now, they're coming back to the line, ready, back in the shotgun. 2 receivers far out, wide. 2 to the near side. Snap. They're coming after Reeds, and they get him. That Miami defense gets Marcel Reed yet again, number 3 with the play. The Hurricanes defense have been all over Marcel Reed in this game. Another reason why. Just absolute dominance by both defenses, but Miami's especially, with the way they've been able to get and affect Marcel Reed. Here they go, back in the shotgun. No receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side, kind of like a bunch formation. Putting a guy in motion, a receiver come back to the near side, handoff up the middle, and he's going to get around 4 yards on the play. So that's going to bring up third down a little bit shorter. Still kind of long. Here they are in field goal range, but again, the wind is whipping. The wind is not a friend. 8 minutes, 27 seconds to go in the half. Time is ticking away. Back in the shotgun. One tailback. Two receivers out wide. One to the near side. Receiver in motion. Fake to him. Pass. Screen. Fumble. And A&M falls back on it. Number 87 fell back on it, but is going to be ruled incomplete. It looked like a fumble, but the current ruling is incomplete. But good situational awareness by the offensive lineman when that ball hit the turf to jump on it. Just in case. Here we go, field goal attempt by A&M, their second of the game. It's going to be a 35-yard attempt. It's up and good. Down the middle. Down the middle. We are tied at 3-3. 8 minutes. 3 seconds to go. 3 minutes. 3-3. 8 minutes, 3 seconds to go. Tied ball game. Miami, Texas A&M. And just an absolute defensive battle right now. Absolute defensive battle. This game has the chemistry to go to overtime. It might be decided before that, but right now, with how they are playing, this game could easily end up in overtime. It definitely is a type of game. We're back on advertisements. Any comments posted, I will be on the watch out for them and respond to them during these breaks. And also, thanks everyone for watching. Please subscribe, like. It definitely helps. With that, I'm going to take a brief break while it is on advertisements. Welcome back. A quick mention later on, 3:30, 36 minutes. The game kickoff for Ole Miss, Tulane is set for 3:30. From what they're showing is 36 minutes out. Yeah, usually it's approximately like a 3:35, 3:40 kickoff. Then later on tonight, going to be Oregon and James Madison playing, rounding out finishing the first round of the playoffs. the winner of this game goes and plays Ohio State. They go to kick it off. They're going to have somebody hold the ball. The ball keeps getting blown off the tee. Yep, they had somebody come over to hold the ball steady on the tee. That wind is whipping, definitely being a factor. Gameplay last night, Alabama, Oklahoma. Alabama won that 34-24. Going to play Indiana in the next round. Kick, fair caught at the goal line. So it's going to be took out at the 25. So Miami will be 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. So on this one, good hold, good snap. Took a little bit of precaution from the replay. The holder held the ball a little bit more from the side, I guess, to try to keep that wind from being a factor before the kick. That was on the field goal. That was good by A&M. That led us to a 3-3 score. So there is an offsides penalty on A&M. So they're going to redo, it looks like they're going to redo the kickoff. So they're going to kick it from 5 yards back, so we probably can expect a return on this one. Both teams played really well, total of 269 for A&M, yard-wise 259, and 165 for Miami. The battle of the defenses. Not a lot of scoring, just a lot of defense. Here we go again. The kick, second, redoing the kick. It is going to be, they're going to let it go for a touchback. So it's going to be a touchback brought out to the 25, 1st down and 10 at the 25. Same result, another kickoff and same result. Beck coming out, lead this off a Miami offense. He's done all right. But ultimately, that A&M Aggie fan base and that defense is absolutely giving Miami all it can handle. Miami back. One running back slightly behind Carson Beck. A handoff up the middle. And he has 10 yards. He's going to do a little stutter step up to the middle, 15 yards, 15, 16 yards on the run. And there's going to be 1st down, Miami. Number 7 became a lead blocker on that. Receiver, nice block, open up a gap, and the running back hit a nice hole and made A&M pay for not sticking to their assignments. And you just can't really blame A&M. Miami is doing an excellent job on blocking. Here we go. Snap. Carson Beck back to pass. He has a receiver. It's a fumble. This is a definite fumble. A&M is on the ball. The refs is calling A&M's ball. Fumble, the first turnover in the game for Miami and Miami territory. So Texas A&M does not have far to go to capitalize on this. Big opportunity for A&M. Number 10 caught the ball and was trying to get more yardage. He had 3 guys on him, and they stripped the ball. Came loose. A&M dives on the ball, clear as day. Definitely don't need no review for this. Definitely A&M ball here. So A&M about to get started on offense. This is the type of stuff late in the game you don't need. You don't need it at all in a close game, or really at period. But 7 minutes, 11 seconds to go. Here we go. Marcel Reed hands it off up the middle. Nothing working. Maybe even a yard loss. Hey, that type of thing. That type of thing can be a big momentum shifter. You're playing these close games. Time now is starting to become an enemy. Second down and 10, so they marked it as just no gain. Here we go, back in the shotgun. One receiver on the far side, back in gonna pass and gonna catch it. Gonna be fighting for that extra yardage. A lineman comes up and helps pushing forward. Just kind of interested to see where they spot the ball. It could be a first down. They hit him right and stood him up at not a 1 yard shy of the first down, but then the offensive lineman came and gave him a shove and definitely imposed his will. First down, Texas A&M. They're going to come to the line really quick and snap it. Marcel Reed in trouble, but he's just going to kind of eat it and try to keep from losing anything. So it's going to be second down, Texas A&M. Going to try to get a spot on the ball and figure out if they should be. Yes, it is. Second and 11. He did lose a yard on that. So that will go down as another sack. Back in the shotgun. Everybody lining up. Two receivers to the far side. No receivers to the near side. One in motion. Gonna fake. Hand it off to a receiver coming across the middle and run on Marcel Reed. He's gonna get up the middle a little bit. Work his way close to field goal range. But that's pretty much it. Number 8 on Miami's defense was shucking up a little bit. It looks like he's going to go to the sideline at least for a minute. It looked like somebody ran it. His own player kind of ran into him trying to make the play. Here we go. Back in the shotgun. Two to the near side, none to the far side. No receivers. Waiting for the snap. Here we go. Snap. Back to throw. Under pressure again, and he is taken down for yet another sack. And there's a flag on the play. So let's see what this is. Could be as in the area of holding, but let's see. It looks like it is going to be holding, but they're going to turn it down. They're talking to Miami whether they want to take it or not. So it is a flag on A&M for holding, but it is going to be declined. It was on the offense for a different thing. It is declined. Hands in the face. Back there in the backfield, though, so it looked like it was going to be a holding call, but when it was called, the ref said it was hands to the face, but it was declined. Fourth down and 9 for Texas A&M. The offense is still out there. Reed in the backfield and the shotgun. One receiver to the far side and one to the near side. Reed is looking to the sideline for a check. He's looking. Time. He has time. 10 seconds on the play clock. 9, 8. He has to get this ball off. They got to call a timeout. 4 seconds. He turns back. Are they going to snap it? No. The time runs out on the play clock, and there will be a delay of game. That will push them back 5 more yards. Fourth down and 14 now for A&M. Most likely a punt coming. Most likely a punt coming for A&M. All right, they did bring in the punt team, and he is set to punt this ball just to try to pin Miami deep. Play field position, 4:13 to go. Here's the snap, punt, a little pooch punt, And it's going to be fielded by number 10 of Miami. He's going to return it to the 15, be wrapped up for progress to the 15. That was kind of dangerous, but he did get it out of the corner, the shadow of the end zone a little bit. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line for Miami. Now 4:02 to go. 4:02 to go in the game. Tied ball game. This game has the makings of overtime game. If one of these teams score right now, the other team might not have it to score. These defenses are playing absolutely lights out. This crowd is going to try to be the 12th man on the field. They have already affected the game earlier on, so let's see if they can do it again. Carson Beck in the back in the shotgun. One tailback. Going to hand it off up the middle. He has 10 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards, up to the 40, the 45, up to the 50, down to the 40, the 35, and drugged down at around the 31-yard line of A&M's. The field position just got flipped. No flags on the play. No flags on the play. Big play by number 4 in Miami. Of course, great job blocking. Great job blocking. It all starts up front with the blockers, receivers, blocking as well downfield. Great job, team effort. Here we go. 1st down and 10. Ball on the 30-yard line. Already in field goal range, handing it back off. Nothing really working there, just a couple. That was a big play. That was a big play for Miami. Big play for Miami. 3-3. Miami threatening to score. Already in field goal range. 2:45. 2:45 to go. A&M has 2 timeouts here. Let's see if they start using them. 2nd and 8. Back, snap, handoff again. He's going to wiggle his way free for a 1st down and a little bit more. And now 1st down and 10, Miami. And that is probably going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. And yes, Miami is walking back to the sideline. So they are going to let this clock stop at the 2-minute timeout and resume play afterwards. Field goal kicker getting ready just in case. But it is 2 minutes left in the game. And Miami threatening to score here with a 1st and 10 when they come back from this 2-minute timeout. What an incredible game. What an incredible game. Dead even. Comes down to a late score. Right now, Miami 263 yards, Texas A&M 271 total yards. Both Miami 1 turnover, A&M 2. 11 first downs for Miami, 16 for A&M. 3 penalties for Miami, 4 for A&M. 2 for 11 on 3rd down for Miami, 7 and 16 for A&M. A&M is the only team that's went for it on 4th down and did not get it. Time of possession, A&M is favored in this. 32 minutes, Miami 25 minutes. But Miami has the ball, 2 minutes left. After this, Aggies are going to have to consider taking their final 2 timeouts because I'm sure Miami is going to try to run the ball and force that to happen. Try to force them to burn them timeouts and go ahead and put the pressure on them, regardless of what happens on the scoreboard here. When they come back from advertisements, I will resume the play-by-play stream. We are back, ready to resume action. 2 minutes ago in the game, 3-3, Miami threatening to score. It has been a defensive bout with two top 20 offenses. Defensive bout with two top 20 offenses. You wouldn't expect it, but it is. Here comes Carson Beck. Has one running back behind him, a bunch formation to the side. And he's going to hand it off. Kind of expected. Take it down. Got a couple yards on that. Ultimately trying to run this clock out, force A&M to take these timeouts. And they did take their second timeout. If Miami can get the first down here, they might be able to try a last-second field goal to win this game. That would be a chip shot, pretty much like extra point. Absolutely crazy game, but Miami is 1 of 4 on field goals for the day. A&M 1 of 2 on field goals for the day. No touchdowns in this game. Would not have believed it. Would not have believed it before now. But it's happened. It's happening. Let's see if Miami can punch it in right here for a touchdown. They're coming back to the line. Carson Beck back in the shotgun. One tailback beside him, a bunch formation. Two receivers to each side, but it's a bunch formation. Gonna hand it off again and run it up the middle just for a couple. It's third down. Should be like third down and 5. Timeout A&M. Third and final timeout. Clock stops with 1:50 to go in the game. Again, a touchdown would be nice here. I'm not going to deny that if you're Miami. But getting a first down right here, you got 3 timeouts. You could run the clock down to pretty much 0 nearly to like 3 seconds and try a chip shot field goal for the win. That would be something. A 6-3 final. Just completely by top 20 offenses. Just come to show you can't pre-predict anything. You cannot pre-predict anything. These defenses have came to play and have done an excellent job on both sides of the ball. It was a quick timeout, so we're ready to get back to the action. Carson Beck, everybody in the huddle, trying to make sure they got the right play. But this Texas A&M crowd, 100,000+ people up waving their towels. Absolutely loud. Absolutely loud on this third down and 5. Big play for both teams right here. Back in the shotgun. One guy in motion. Coming to the near side. Gonna go back. Get the handoff. Number 10. Get around the edge. He had the edge and more. Touchdown! Miami! Number 10 gets the jet sweep toss, and he is in for the touchdown. First touchdown of the game. 1:40 to go. Puts a lot of pressure on Texas A&M, especially with how they've been performing. Right now, 9-3, pending an extra point. 9-3, pending an extra point. Probably will be 10-3 after this extra point attempt. A lot of wind though, and a lot of stuff going on with kicks today. They're set. It's hold it down, kicks up, good, and it is 10-3. 10-3. First one to punch it into the end zone, Miami. Leaving A&M 1 minute and 44 seconds, 0 timeouts to drive downfield to get a touchdown. We do not know where they're going to get the ball at because we still got to have the kickoff here. But no matter where they get the ball at, whether it's the 25 or they return it for a decent return, they have struggled like heck on offense. This Miami has fired up, and it sure doesn't look good for Texas A&M. Miami said, people said we didn't belong. We shouldn't have got the bid to be in the playoffs. We're representing the ACC, and we want this W. Coming in and playing defense like they have, now being the first to punch it in, getting the lead here late in the game against this Texas A&M team, with them being at home, is nothing short of incredible. But this game could have gone either way, could go either way still, because there's still a minute 44. It's challenging, but not impossible right here. It is a 4-down game now, though, for A&M. They have to play all 4 downs. You punting the ball back to Miami, they will nil it out. It is over. 4-down territory here. No return. Out the back of the end zone. Ball is coming out to the 25. A&M has 75 yards to drive. 1 minute, 44 seconds. No timeouts. Have not done well on offense in this game. A lot of pressure has been on Marcel Reed in this game. It's a battle of execution right now. Who executes better, the defense or the offense? 4-down territory. Marcel Reed back in the shotgun. Gonna take the snap. Looking, time. He's got pressure now. He's throwing to a shaydown. Got a little bit of action. Got about 5 yards out of bounds, though. Smart to get out of bounds. Took 10 seconds off the clock, down to 1 minute and 35 seconds. Again, 4-down territory. You cannot punt the ball here. Miami gets the ball back. It is game. Here they go, back in the shotgun. 1 halfback. Right, 1 tailback. 2 out far, 1 near. Snap, throw, quick throw. First down. Got about 6 yards on that. So they're moving, but there is a flag. So let's see what the flag is about. Trying to make sure that I tell y'all the right thing what the call is. The refs are at midfield just talking. Roughing the passer, number 18 defense. So that's a big mistake by Miami. You're giving up free yardage. That's like a 15-yard penalty right there. Yep, he hit Marcel Reed. Now, I will say Marcel Reed sold the heck out of that. He even got up off the ground celebrating like, heck yes. So, kind of probably sold that a little bit, but he got the call. So, and Miami did run into him. So, they gave up free yardage right there. Ball now in Miami territory at the 48. First down, snap, throw, and it's going to be caught. Good for a first down and a little bit more. He spins around and stretches. Going to be first down and 10 and yet again. This Aggies team is saying not so fast. We are at home. We want this playoff game W. All right, snap. They're moving fast. Marcel Reed runs the ball, dives. Looks like he may be short of the first down, but he's going to be like 2nd and 1. Maybe 2nd and half a yard. Very close. Very close. Back in the shotgun. 2 far out. 1 near. Let's see. Snap. Going back to pass. Quick pass to the left side. And incomplete. Good coverage on that. 3rd down and 1. Clock stops at 53 seconds. Great coverage. Just as the ball got there, number 8 on the defense stuck his arm around and managed to break up the pass, stopping A&M from getting it. All right, back in the shotgun. Snap. Handoff. Run. 5, 6 yards on the play. Definitely good enough for the first down. First down and 10. A&M again. 4-down territory. So no, a field goal will not do you any good here. Bunch formation. Out far. Snap. Looking. Throw. Caught. He's at the 5-yard line. Steps out of bounds at the 4-yard line. They're going to spot the ball at around the 4.5. The ref is spotting it around the 4.5, so they might call this first and goal at the 5, but it's kind of in between the 4 and 5. So right now, you can kind of take a deep breath if you're Texas A&M. You got to move fast. All right, a little bit, but you got a little bit of time. First and goal, 5-yard line, clock not moving, 39 seconds. Back to pass, looking, time, pass, end zone, floater, out. Looks like he was out the back of the end zone. He did catch it, but it looks like he was out he was rolled outside of bounds, outside of the back of the end zone. Yes, he did catch it, but his foot that came down was out of bounds already, and his momentum just took him out the rest of the way, so definitely a good call there. No review needed there. Back in the shotgun, 3 receivers wide. 1 near. Just waiting for the snap. Marcel Reed taking his time, looking over the defense. Snap. Looking. Has time. Pass in the middle of the field. Does he have it? No. Incomplete. Third down and goal. We do have injuries on the field, and that's not good. Actually 2 injuries on the field, 1 for each team. Number 4 is limping off the field. But number 1 for Miami's defense is laying on the turf, being checked out by the medical staff. Here's the replay. Pass. Number 4 caught it, but instantly got hit by number 1, and the ball, because of the impact, the ball came out. Of course, he didn't have possession, so incomplete. But the absolute hard impact shook up both of them. Looked like number 4 was limping a little bit, maybe twisted his ankle. But number 1, even though he's the one that delivered the hit, ultimately seemed to take the worst of the impact and is laying down still on the field. Coaches and medical staff out there. He is now up, and he is coming off the field under his own power, kind of a slight jog. So that's a good sign. His team is around him, talking to him, patting him on the back. I'm sure they're telling him, good job. He's done a great job. Good play. They're going to take care of this. They're going to bring this thing home. But A&M, if they have anything to say with it, that's not going to be the case. 28 seconds to go. Third down and goal. Remember what I said earlier. This had the making of an overtime game. This definitely does. If A&M can punch it in the next 2 plays, they're going to probably send this game. It's definitely going to overtime. But Miami has been playing really good on defense. Third and goal. Shotgun. About on pretty much on the 5-yard line. Back, pass, end zone. Intercepted Miami. That's game. Intercepted number 13, Miami Hurricanes. And you are going to play Ohio State in the quarterfinals. And this is disappointing for the Texas A&M Aggie fan base and for the Aggie Nation, because you would think that being at home with that 12th man, you could do it. But this defense of Miami sure did show up in a big way. They just got their 3rd turnover in the most crucial time possible, intercepting it in the end zone. They are on the sideline hugging each other, celebrating. They know they just won this game. They got to come back on the field, do 1-0 to end this and take this clock down to 0. But they know that they have just won this ball game. Marcel Reed threw directly into the middle of the field. There was like 3 guys around. Number 13 is the one to come up with it. He did have number 17, a big tight end there, but it wasn't good enough to save it. And they nil it, and the clock is going to tick down to 0, and all of them are just waiting here on the final. They're actually just going ahead and running out onto the field, so I guess I can just go ahead and say congratulations to the Miami Hurricanes. I'll be honest, I didn't predict them to win, but I will say congratulations to the Canes. I knew it was going to be a hard-fought game, thought it was going to be a shootout offensively, but it was a defensive match for sure. Again, congratulations. Next up for y'all, Miami Canes, is Ohio State Buckeyes. Until the next live broadcast, see y'all later. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, put a comment in there. Until next time, thank you and goodbye.